Yo, what's going on? Quick message for my entrepreneurs out there that follow like Gary Vee, Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, any entrepreneurs out there that are pumping out content that you love to consume. You got to start looking at what they're doing and why you love following them. There's a reason why you follow Gary Vee or Ty Lopez or Grant Cardone. There's a reason why you comment on their posts, why you share their posts, why you're continually looking at their feed and seeing, what they're uploading. So I go through the comments on Gary Vee, Ty Lopez, whatever, these different entrepreneurs online. I see people saying stuff like, oh my gosh, this was great content, great video, always dropping gems. Thanks for sharing some tips. And I'm like, okay, cool. So you understand what it is that you're interested in and what, you want to see. And then I go to their page and it's a bunch of quotes, a bunch of random selfies. It's just like a bunch of just graphics, infographics. I'm like, oh, man, you're missing the whole point. You got to look at like what they're doing and replicate that on your page. If you go to somebody else's page and you're like, man, this is really what I love to see, and then you're an entrepreneur and you go on your page and you do something totally different, you just missed it, right? Like these quotes, these infographics, these random pics that you're posting, this buy my product, get a free consultation, like over and over and over and over and over again. That's not what people want to see. And that's why those entrepreneurs don't post that stuff. And so there's a reason why they've grabbed your attention, why you're locked in to their content. And so you can't just consume. And then when you go onto your own page, you're doing something 100% different that's not even close to what they're doing. And what I've got good at is what I guess I call content hacking, right? When I first started, I had no idea about social media, business, anything. So I had two options. Either I could just kind of figure things out on my own, which I tried to do for a while. It sucked. I didn't get anywhere. Or I said, I can look at the people's content that I'm consuming and I can just try to be just like them, except have my own spin on it, my own story, my own brand, all this different types of stuff. And no, it wasn't super comfortable to just get on camera like this, to get on a podcast right away. But I didn't care because I was like, that's where I want to go. And it's just like anything else. First time I picked up a basketball, I was terrible. Couldn't dunk, couldn't do anything, right? But over time, you can start to do these things. But you just look, right? If you want to be Steph Curry, you want to be Michael Jordan, you look at what they do and you replicate it. But for some reason on social media, entrepreneurs like to engage and consume all this content, but then they like to ignore the type of content that person's putting out. And it doesn't really have to be all that complicated. You go to their podcast and you say, what does their cover look like? What's their show called? What type of description do they have? What do they talk about on their show? Do they have guests? Do they have their show live on Facebook? What software are they using? What does it look like? What are they posting on Twitter? What are they posting on TikTok? What are they posting on Instagram? What does it look like? Where are they sharing it? Are they using hashtags? What kind of hashtag? Like, do your research on the people that you love to follow, because obviously it's working, and then say, with the resources that I have, how can I replicate this? If they have a podcast and have fancy lighting and all these different camera angles, you don't need that when you first start off. But at least say, okay, they have a podcast, this kind of stuff that they talk about, the basics, like with what I have now, what can I do? Same thing with Instagram. You might not be able to have like a fancy camera crew follow you around, have all this fancy editing, but you can use different apps and websites to create similar looking content. So I just want to come on here, man. I see so many entrepreneurs where it's like you're following these people and then you go on your page and you do something that is not appealing at all. It just looks like, what are you doing? And I don't say that to make you feel bad, but I'm saying, like, if somebody goes to your page, they're just going to say, who is this person? They don't even look legit. They wonder, like, is this person really know what they're talking about? But when you go to like a Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, these type of people, like, okay, this person means business. It just makes a better first impression. And it's called increasing your brand awareness, having people know what you're doing, having people build more trust with you, more relationships. And that's going to help you get more sales, get more customers, but it's also going to help you spread your message out there to the world and make a bigger impact. So I don't want to make this a crazy long message, but the point is you got to start taking a look at the entrepreneurs that you follow taking a look at their content, not just consuming it, and saying, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And how could I do what they're doing with the resources that I have? Don't just go on your page and think, oh, I don't want to get on camera. I don't want to share my story. So I'll just post some quotes. I'll just post some infographics for now. That's not going to work. The point of social media isn't to just tell people like, oh yeah, I checked off the box. I have an Instagram. I have a Facebook, because it just doesn't matter. It's kind of like going to a networking party just to say that you went, and you just sit in the corner with a bunch of graphics that you're going to pass out. Like, nobody is going to remember you. Nobody's going to want to talk to you. So it's not to just be on social media. It's to have a purpose, to have a plan, and to execute it. That way you can increase your brand awareness and not always have to rely on ads. More people will know about you, do more business with you, and you can spread your message. So one of the easiest things that I do. People sometimes think I'm this genius that comes up with all these crazy ideas. Not really. I just look at what other people are doing that I follow, and I say, oh, awesome. Gary Vee is going live for Tea with Gary Vee on Facebook. He has a guest on there. He posts that on Facebook Live. He also streams that to YouTube. Then he takes the audio, puts it on his podcast, and then he takes some clips and posts those clips onto his Instagram. Same thing I do. I didn't come up with that. I'm not, some genius. I just did a little research because I was like, this is interesting. This is what I like to watch. So let me try to replicate what that content looks like. So that'll take your content to the next level if you are an entrepreneur or anybody else, even music producers, whoever. Like, stop posting this stuff that nobody wants to see. Look at these other entrepreneurs that are crushing it. Look at what they're posting and say, how can I do that in my industry, in my field, in my niche? So hope that this helps. I know it can be overwhelming. Sometimes you might, take a look at their content and you might say, okay, I get it, but I don't know how to replicate that. I don't know how to set up my podcast. I don't know how to set up my live stream, any of that. If that's the case, you got to reach out to somebody. You got to either Google it, YouTube it, or you can reach out to me and I'll show you how to do it. Reach out to me on Instagram at @DGreene, at DEEGREENE, or reach out to me on Facebook or somewhere. And I have resources that I can teach you how to do all this stuff, same way that I'm doing it. So hope that this helps. Start paying attention again to the entrepreneurs that you love to follow and the content that they're posting, and it'll instantly take your content to the next level, and it'll make you really stand out, increase your brand awareness, and people will be able to instantly see what you're doing. They'll be like, oh wow, like, let me work with this person, let me hit this person up. And when they land on your page, they don't instantly just hop off because it looks like you don't know what you're doing. So start doing that. See if it makes a difference in your business, in your brand, in your life. And if you need any help, hit me up. See you guys on the next episode.